Baseball batting cage drills experiment. Here's a quick way to hit less ground balls. Backspin tee spray chart, regular tee spray chart. Backspin tee, regular tee. Backspin tee, regular tee. Backspin tee, regular tee. Backspin tee, Hey, what's going on? It's Joey Myers from HittingPerformanceLab.com. Question: does the backspin batting tee actually help hitters develop backspin? Well, I did a baseball batting cage drills experiment using the backspin batting tee to find out. For more on background research and for experiment setup, you can click the link that's directly below this video if you're watching this on YouTube under the Show More tab. Here's the gist of the experiment. I took 100 swings hitting 100 baseballs using the backspin batting tee, and then I took another 100 swings hitting 100 baseballs using a conventional or regular tee. The tee I used was an A-Tech Tuffy tee, and I counterbalanced all the swings in the experiment. What I wanted to do is I wanted to find out whether the backspin batting tee actually cut down on the amount of ground balls that I hit. Let's take a look at how the experiment turned out.
Here's the original blog post, and what I'm about to show you is the data collected, as you can see down here, the hitting spray charts. And what I did with this experiment is I counterbalanced the swings. So I broke the 100 swings down into 25 swing chunks and labeled the backspin batting tee chunk A and then conventional tee chunk B. And I did that because when you counterbalance, it helps to remove the getting tired and not being sufficiently warmed up factor. So let's take a look at the spray charts. The first one, A, being the backspin batting tee. As you look at the spray chart here, it looks more like a tornado, or resembles somewhat of a tornado. You can see not as much at the bottom, it gets kind of fat at the top, and then it kind of winds up in the middle, so it's more of a medium scatter. So if we look at the conventional tee, if we kind of take a mental snapshot of that, and we compare that to the regular tee using the A-Tech Tuffy tee. Now you can see here, kind of all over the place, there are a few points that we can point to in the results of this. And the backspin tee is just a scatter, looks much more tidy, as you can see here, whereas it's more spread out with the regular tee. There is more of a clean horizontal scatter. So there's not much going on across this way as there are over here. We can see that there's more of a horizontal pattern, more pulling to the left. I'm a righty, so this is more to my pull side. Also, there with the backspin batting tee, you can see that there's more above average line drives and there's more ground balls and average line drives with the regular tee. Now, what is an above average versus an average line drive? And my definition is an average line drive is within reach of a fielder. So we're getting much more above average line drives here in the backspin batting tee than we are with the regular tee. Like I said, everything's kind of scattered around and kind of pulling over to the left. What was also interesting is even a lot of these that were up here, and you look at this and you say, well, with the regular tee, you had actually some pretty good ones that we were getting some good backspin on the ball. But what happened was the way I did these using the counterbalance is if we go right here, and you can see this was when I ordered the 25 swing chunks, this is how I ordered it: ABBA and BAAB. So the A is backspin batting tee, the B was the conventional tee. So what was interesting was after taking 25 swings with the backspin batting tee, 10 to 15 swings after switching into the conventional tee were actually above average line drives. And then the last 10 to 15 swings still on the conventional batting tee, I saw my above average line drives come down to more average and then into the ground, especially when I was repeating the conventional tee back to back. So that was 50 swings on the conventional tee. And once we got into the second 25 swings, we saw the above average line drives really going into the ground. We saw more ground balls, we saw more pulling to the left. And then when I went back over here and we went from conventional tee and then we repeated the backspin tee 50 swings in a row, so 225 swing chunks, then we saw a much better, more positive above average line drive in the last 100 swings of the day. So let's take a look at the conclusion of this experiment.
Now, in conclusion, did the backspin batting tee actually cut down on the amount of ground balls that I hit? Well, the baseball batting cage drills experiment data suggests that not only did the backspin batting tee increase the frequency at which I put backspin on the ball, but it also cleaned up my horizontal outcomes. meaning I didn't hit the ball or pull the ball towards the left side of the cage as often using the backspin batting tee as I did when I was hitting off of the conventional tee. Another thing is the backspin tee magic, or the effect, lasted 10 to 15 swings after switching over to the conventional tee. Now make sure that we're swinging smarter by moving better. And before I let you go, the Hitting Performance Lab wants to know, did you know that reducing ground balls and swing and miss strikeouts has less to do with hand path and more to do with knee action? Have you ever heard, finish taller? To drive the ball, you have to uppercut. Well, we created a free video revealing the results of a scientific study that showed a reduction in ground balls of 27% and an increase in productive balls in the air of 24% over 200 swings without messing with hand path. Click here now to get the video while it's still free.